you must now realize that the next step after worship is to give up control. Yes. We say, Lord, have your way. But we don't really mean that, because the unclean spirit just wanted to say that, to act like we really wanted the Lord to have his way. But when the Lord comes to cash in on promises made, it's time to surrender. Yes. Lean over and just whisper somebody, say, it's time to surrender.
Time to surrender.
I thought about this because Jesus doesn't care about things that you value. What's important to you is not important to God. An old country preacher told me a long time ago, he said, people do what's important to them. He said, I didn't say they do what's important. He said, I think they do what's important to them. And you have to understand that in the story, the man had a lot of devils in him. And the demons negotiated not to be sent to hell. They said, can we just go over here to the swine? Jesus said, sure. Somebody was a pig farmer up on a hill somewhere, and Jesus destroyed their business to save one soul. So then I began to wonder, how valuable is a soul? Will you give up your business for a soul? Will you give $3 more for a soul? Or are you going to be like the people in the city who cared more about the pigs drowning than the man that got delivered and set free? Here the Lord came through a storm, risked the lives of himself and his disciples to reach one man. And when he got there, he destroyed 2,000 pigs to save one man's life. Tell somebody, your soul is valuable.
Your soul is
Go tell them that your soul is valuable.
Your soul is
See, because we have grossly depreciated and undervalued souls in the church. What we've done is we put a high price on worship, but we put a low price on the soul. Because we see the Lord come and we'll worship him, but we don't want to give up our soul.
Come on, Doc.
It's time for the exchange now. The exchange of some pigs for some souls. What pigs do you have that are preventing you from reaching some souls?
Come on.
Start with your own soul. Because we become comfortable with depression. We become comfortable with struggling. We become comfortable with being defeated and with things being as they are. But the Lord is here to let you know that these unclean spirits are coming out of you tonight. Say it's coming out tonight.
Coming out tonight.
We're not going to continue with the same old pattern of worship that we've had for years that just keeps us broken and living in tombs. The man's living in tombs and in mountains and amongst dead things and dark things and unproductivity. We can worship, but we're surrounded by death and destruction. When will you let the Lord destroy them pigs so your soul can be free? It is time for the unclean spirits in our lives to be cast out. Is anybody going to be honest enough to say, I got some unclean spirits I need to surrender before the Lord? I need to get rid of this doubt and this fear that prevents me from stepping into my true destiny and purpose. I need to let go of the depression that came from all the pain and suffering and rejection in the past. I will not let another unclean spirit define who I am.
Come on.
I've been chosen by God to walk on the water. I've been chosen by God to tell the storms to cease and desist. I have been selected by the Lord to be more than a conqueror. Why would you then settle for being in a struggle when you are more than a conqueror? Hallelujah. An unclean spirit is finna go. Anybody honest enough to say, I got to let it go? Lift your He's entered into our place of destitute.
Yes.
See, what amazes me that most people don't understand is that you have 13 Jewish men standing in a graveyard. It is unpermitted for Jewish men to be in a graveyard lest they become ceremonially unclean. You only get 7 days to mourn a death in Hebrew culture. After 7 days, you go on about your business. Ain't no going by laying flowers at grandmama's tomb every week is anniversary of her death. No, we don't do that in Jewish culture. Jewish culture, you mourn for 7 days, then you move on. That's why it was all right for Jesus to go see Lazarus on the 4th day, because he still had 3 more days to mourn if he wanted to.
Go ahead.
But this day, Jesus violated the rules. And he walked into an unclean place to set free a man that had unclean spirit. We're not going to worship anymore with an unclean spirit. Are you ready? I want you to stand with me.